All right, guys, are you ready for our next topic here? Multiples of 10 and multiplying by 10. So, if you would be so kind as to turn to page 281 in your Volume 1 GoMath books, that's Chapter 5, Lesson 4. And you see there at the top, we are going to use base 10 blocks and strategies based on place value to multiply with multiples of 10. And believe it or not, you already know how to do this. All right, so we're going to take a look back here at our multiplication table that we've been working on. And we have these multiples of 10 right here. Okay, 10 times 1, 10 times 2, 10 times 3. And remember, all that we're doing in a situation like this, and we can look over here. Remember, if I had 3 times 1, that would be equal to 3. But when I add a 0 to make it 3 times 10, I just make it 30 for the answer. But let's take a closer look here and see if some of these strategies and things right here doesn't help us out here just a little bit more. So here we go. You can use model and place value to multiply by multiples of 10. So what is a product of 10 and the counting numbers 1, 2, 3, and so on. All right, what is the product of 10? So just like over here, what is a variable? All right, we don't know what that variable is going to be. All right, and then when we multiply that by 10, what do we get? Well, in a roundabout way, what we're getting are multiples of 10. All right, 10, 20, 30, 40. And then when you see this dot, dot, dot after it, that means that we're going to be continuing that pattern. That's why, so we're not having to write all the multiples of 10 for every number in the universe. So right here we have this model thing we're going to work through. All right, so we're going to show 1 times 10. So here is 1 unit block right here. When I have 1 of the 10 blocks, I have 1 10, which is 10. Right here I have 2 times 10. All right, I have 2. 1 and 2. I have 2 tens, and 2 tens is equal to 20. Right here I have 3 tens. All right, so 3 times 1 grouping of 10. So here's 1 grouping, here's 2 groupings, and here's 3 groupings. So 3 tens is 30. All right, so what are the first 9 multiples? Well, we've got 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and we're going to go ahead and add 100 because 10 times 10 is one that we would need to know. All right, so let's take a closer look and see how we can't use this information. Best Care Veterinarian Clinic offered free pet care classes for 5 days. Aaron attended the pet care class for 30 minutes each day. How many minutes did Aaron attend the class? Well, what we're going to need to do is just multiply 5 times 30. All right, that is the simple multiplication problem. All right, 5 days, 30 minutes at a time equals something right there. All right. So what we're going to do is think to ourselves that 30 is equal to 3 tens, or 3 groups. So as we count out, let's see if I can't get, yeah, right here. All right, so here is the first one. All right, and probably, let's go ahead and say, all right, we're at 30 right here. Then we're going to have our next jump, which is going to put us at 60. And then the third day is going to put us at 90 minutes. And then the fourth day is going to be 120. And then finally, the fifth day would be 150. So 5 times 30 is equal to 150. All right, we made 5 equal jumps, with each jump representing 30 minutes. So 5 equal jumps of 30 gives us 150. All right. Now, I'm looking here at some of the different ways here in this other page, but here's what I would venture to say. All right, and we've done this before. What is 5 times 3? Right. That is equal to 15. And when we multiply by multiples of 10, we just add the zeros. Okay? Here's something else that would be really interesting. If we said 50 times 30, well, 5 times 3 is 15. We've added our 0 here. We would add another 0 right here. All right, so multiplying by 10 is a very helpful strategy if you know how to do that. Let's move on here to the next one. Another way is to use place value. So 5 times 30 is equal to 5 times 3 groups of 10. And this is like what I was saying on the other example back here. All right. Of course, getting rid of the 0 here. I can't get that little. Let's see if we can't get that erased right there. Yep. So we're just going to be looking at that here and what that looks like in terms of these unit blocks here. All right, so what do I have? All right, 5 times 3 is 15. I have 15 blocks of 10. All right, and if I counted by tens, up to 15, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. That's what I would have right here. So 5 times 30, once again, 150. All right. Now here's a tricky one. I really like this one here. Okay. 4 times 50 is equal to what? Well, before we do this, let's move it over to here and make sure that we're not confused. All right. What is 4 times 5? All right. 4 times 5 is 20. So, what would 4 times 50 be? All right, I've added a 0 and I've added a 0. So sometimes that can get a little confusing. If you have a number that already gives you a 0, you have to understand that that is part of the original 4 times 5 right here. And then you add your 0. So let's look over here. 4 times 50 is equal to, like I said right here, 4 times 5 groups of 10. All right, that gives us 20 tens. And if I were to count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, so on and so forth, like that, or just 10, 20, 30, 40, I'm going to get up to the 200 right here. So, multiplying by multiples of 10, pretty easy. I want you to try your hand at the show and share. See how you do. Pause the video and then unpause it when you're done, and we'll see how well you did. All right, you're back, which could only mean one thing. You are finished and ready to check your work. So 3 times 40. All right, the best way, if we're going to model this on a number line, is that we're going to make 3 jumps of 40. So here's one jump of 40. And another jump of 40. And another jump of 40. Okay, so here's a 40, here's a 40, and another 40. And we made one jump right here. We made 2 jumps and 3 jumps. Where did we end up at? 120. All right, let's take a look down here. 8 times 20. So we're going to make 8 jumps of 20. All right. Let's actually go back up here. I want to show you. Let's just go back and show our example. Okay, what is 3 times 4? All right, that is equal to 12. Add a 0, so that now we have 40, and we're going to add a 0 to the answer right here. All right, so 8 jumps of 20. Here is 1. There's 2. There's 3. 4. 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that's going to give us the answer 160. But let's try out this other method here just to double check. 8 times 2 is 16. If we were to add 0, we would add a 0 to the answer right there, 160. All right. These right here, use place value to find the product. So 3 times 70 is equal to 3 times 7 tens. All right, just like we've been doing up here. So 3 times 7 is 21 tens, which is going to be 210. And then 50 times 2 is equal to 5 groups of 10. All we're doing now is just switching these around. Okay, 5 groups of 10 times 2. So 5 tens, that's going to be a 10 right here. So 5 tens times 2. So how many do I have here? 5 times the 2 is 10. And 10 tens is equal to 100. All right. So, an easy strategy, one that you were probably already familiar with, but now we have some context to go with it and some examples. So, good luck with your homework. I know that you will do great. If you have any questions, reach out to one of your math teachers, and good luck.